Hey everybody. You have been doing a great job working hard recently on getting your grade books rolling and pushing over assessments. I just wanted to point out a few quick tips and hints that might help some of you as you work through this. So let me go ahead and click on a math grade book here. And as you can see, there is a bunch of standards in it. One tip I can give you is if you're not seeing enough on your screen, like for instance, there's only 10 rows here and you want to see more, at the bottom, it's very easy to just click on, there's a tab with a number for basically columns per page, and maybe you want to see double that. Maybe you want to see 20 at a time. It's very easy to change that, and it'll just update, and you can see more work at a time. Another question's been asked to me is some people have said, hey, I gave a test 2 weeks ago, but I just got around to putting data in. How do I change the date that it reflects as when it was given? In Elluminate, it's assuming you're using either their online portion of giving the test and or scanning in the answer sheets that have dates on them. If you're not doing either of those and you're hand entering your data, you will have to go in and change the date from the day that you input it to the day that you actually gave it. All you have to do is hover over whatever column it is, just click on Edit, and it may default to the due date being 11/4 because that's when you input it, but maybe it was actually due last week. All you would have to do is click on the calendar and you could update that it was given on the 24th and it was due on the 24th. So for instance, this test was actually given on 10/24. If it was due on 10/24 as well, I could just click here. And when I do, I could scroll to the bottom, hit save, and it will, what did I miss? Oh, it said you didn't update this one too. So it was assigned and due on 10/24, 10/24. Sorry about that mistake in the video, but that's okay. I'm leaving it because it means I'm a real person. And it should be applied to that section. And the standard was already selected below. And it is no longer there, and it'll actually move over to 10/24 when it was actually given. Another tip that some people have asked is they're trying to figure out how many times have they've actually assessed a skill. So if the report card only, it says a kid is a 1 or a 2, you want to be able to explain at parent-teacher conference as well. It's really only the 1 or 2 times that that student has actually done that skill. So one way that you can quickly look at a grade book or sort out how many times you've given an assessment, there is some reports you can run, and you can run over there and play with some of those to see if it looks the way you want. Another way you can just look at your grade book is you go to Setup, Preferences, and within Preferences, you can go to down to Others, and one of them is Group by Standard. So again, I went to Setup, Preferences, Others, Group by Standard, and then alphabetical descending or ascending, that doesn't really matter. And then I go down and hit save. And what you will see in Hannah's grade book, when I click again on her math grade book, is now, instead of it being chronological, there is still a chronological factor to it. But what you see here is there's a nice gray bar at the top that says, at this standard, this student is there, and here is their attempts at doing it. So the more recent one wasn't so strong for this student. So even though they had a couple good scores at the beginning, this score, due to power law, is actually saying this is their most recent attempt at it, and it's going to err on the side of that most recent attempt. On the other hand, this student over here got a bunch of 2s and 3s at the beginning, but recently got a 4, so they're at a very high 2 overall. Their last couple scores are factoring higher, and so even though they have a 2, they're a very high 2, almost a 3, because they've gotten a 4 on their most recent attempt at this. So just to give you an idea of how that is kind of factoring, and if you want to be able to see it all laid out in one place. Again, it puts a band at the top and tells you how it's working. Hope this helps.